So we're going to read our second chapter of our Christmas novel, The Christmasaurus. The Frozen Egg. Far away from William's wonky little house, snowflakes were falling from enormous fluffy snow clouds. They were the thickest snowflakes you could ever imagine. If you were to stick out your tongue and catch one in your mouth, you would feel so full up that you wouldn't need to eat any dinner. That's how thick these snowflakes were. They weren't ordinary snowflakes because this was the North Pole, and in the North Pole nothing is ordinary. The snowflakes hit the ground with a thud and echoed back from the surrounding mountains like a constant drumming of a marching band. Thud, thud, thud. But it wasn't the only sound that could be heard. If you listened closely, you could hear voices deep underground singing together in time with the thudding of the snowflakes. These were voices of the North Pole elves, the very same ones that Mr. Trundle had told William all about. They were singing their digging song, which went something like this. Dig dibbity, dig dibbity, dig dibbity, dibbity dib, dibbity dib, dig dibbity, dig dibbity, dig dibbity, dibbity dig. Oh, the elves that dig for diamonds, dig hi-ho, 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 hi-ho. And the fairies flying high say hello, hello, hello. But we're not fairies or dwarves, we're Santa's elves, of course. The reason why we dig, dig, diggity dig, 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 diggity dig through the snow, we're digging up the toys and games and stuff. We'll keep on digging, toast of us. Can't feel our fingers, can't feel our toes, but we'll dig, diggity dig through the ice and snow. The elves made up songs like this all the time. In fact, the elves of the North Pole didn't speak normally at all, ever. They only spoke in rhyme. For example, if a North Pole elf wanted a glass of orange juice, they would never just say, "Can I have a glass of orange juice, please?" The elf would say something like, "Can I have some orange juice, please? Freshly picked and freshly squeezed. Peel off the skin and pop it in the pips and give me extra juicy bits." Or if a North Pole elf were to say good morning to another North Pole elf, they would say, "Good morning, fellow North Pole elf. I hope your day brings lots of wealth. But if it doesn't, don't worry yourself. Be thankful that you've got your health." They had rhymes and songs for every occasion and were making new ones up all the time. Some were rather good and others were awful, but they would sing them all the same. On this particular chilly December day of digging, there were 8 elves out in the mines underneath the snowfields of the North Pole. Their names were Snozzletrump, Specklehump, Sparklefoot, Sugarsnout, Starlump, Spudcheeks, Snowcrumb and Sprout. They were very small, just like Mr. Trundle had said, only about as tall as your left knee, and they all wore the most wonderfully peculiar clothes, from dresses made of teacups to fluffy coats covered in northern light bulbs. They were quite a spectacular sight. Every elf had a different but equally important job. Snozzletrump dug the hole. Specklehump held the lantern so that Snozzletrump could see. Sparklefoot lit a fire. Sugarsnout boiled the kettle. Starlump made the tea. Spudcheeks toasted 4 crumpets, half a crumpet for each elf. Snowcrumb buttered the crumpets, and Sprout kept watch. They had been digging holes, eating crumpets and drinking tea all morning and were starting to think about lunch. North Pole elves are very small, but were always very hungry. "There are no more crumpets left to munch," said Sprout. "I'm hungry, let's go back for lunch." But Snozzletrump wasn't listening. Snozzletrump was inside a long tunnel he'd been digging in the ice for the last 2 hours. He was deep in thought and lost in the song he was singing to himself. "I've been digging through the snow and ice for many days and countless nights, so that every girl and every boy gets a special Christmas egg." There was a great gasp from all the elves. Spudcheeks even dropped his half crumpet in the snow, buttered side down. "That line doesn't rhyme," chimed Snow Crumb from the back of the concerned group. It was very rare that a North Pole elf would ever not rhyme. I mean, I have found something strange in the ground, yelled Snozzletrump, coming back to his rhyming sense. The 7 elves outside the tunnel dropped their tea and crumpets and at once rushed forward to take a look. Specklehump adjusted the great brass lantern he was carrying on the long pole so that it shone its light over their heads. The ice tunnel lit up as great blue and yellow, and what the elves saw left them all completely gobble-mouthed, poky-eyed, wonky-brained and confused. It was an enormous egg. Most of the elves were more than 200 years old and had seen all sorts of weird, wacky things in the North Pole. But never ever had any of them seen an egg frozen in the ice. They started whispering and gossiping to each other, in rhyme obviously, trying to get a better peep at the beautifully shiny shell of the egg, which was sticking halfway out of the ice. As they all nudged closer, there was such a kerfuffle that an argument broke out between Sugar Snout and Snozzletrump, which to you and me would have sounded like a rather chirpy duet. It went a bit like this. There's an egg under the snow. How did it get here? I don't know. Well, dig it up. Let's take it back. Dig it up. Well, it might crack. We can't just leave it stuck in the ice. We could cook it for dinner. It might taste nice. Cook it. You can't do that. There's something inside waiting to hatch. Just as Snozzletrump finished singing his line, something happened that made the elves jump. The egg wobbled. There was a great silence in the tunnel, and the elves huddled together, staring at the egg. There was something inside, all right, something alive. Then, all at once, as if they had been planning this routine for months, the elves started singing together in perfect unison. Dig up the egg, let's take it back. Dig up the egg so it can hatch. Dig up the egg so we can find what sort of things alive inside. A frozen fish, a chili chicken. Santa will know, so let's get digging. All 8 elves worked together and carefully dig out the egg. It was tricky, fiddly business, and only North Pole elves could do. If humans had found the egg, it would have been a squish flattened as a pancake. But the elves were gentle, expert diggers. Sugar Snout used the steam from the pot of tea to melt and the mostly solidified frozen layer of ice. Snow Crumb used his buttery crumpet knife so he could gently slip away the parts of ice all around the egg. Starlimp brushed away the loose snow, while Sprout hopped up and down excitedly, shouting encouraging rhymes to help, with a mouthful of crumpet, of course. After only 15 minutes and 22 seconds, the stuck egg popped free from the ice. All the elves took their wonderful thick coats and scarves and wrapped them around the giant egg. It was taller than an elf standing on another's shoulders, fatter than 3 elves and heavier than all 8 of the elves put together. It took a great effort for them to carry it, but if there was one thing elves can do, it's teamwork. They all bunched together with the freezing North Pole wind whooshing over their cold arms, and they carried the frozen egg out of the ice mines, over the snowfields, and took it to the wisest person they knew. The only person who could know what to do with a frozen egg in the North Pole. They took it to Santa. Well, I wonder what's going to happen. We'll learn some more in our next part of the story. Bye.